looking at this massive stack of research you sent over to us, it paints a rather terrifying scenario for any local business owner.
Oh, absolutely. It really does.
I mean, imagine you run a highly successful, bustling neighborhood restaurant. You've spent years dialing in your kitchen workflow, and your staff operates flawlessly under pressure.
Right. Your regulars know exactly what they want before they even walk in the door.
Exactly. Now, imagine arriving at work tomorrow morning, coffee in hand, ready to prep for the lunch rush, only to find a glaring eviction notice taped to the front door.
That is just a nightmare.
Right. You have to vacate. And you can't just, pack your commercial ovens and fryers into cardboard boxes. You have to somehow transport your entire physical existence to a completely new location without dropping a single order.
And your landlord has handed you a hard, non-negotiable deadline.
Right. So welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to explore why this scenario is actually a critical make-or-break forced evolution for food businesses.
Yeah, because we are talking about GloriaFood, which is one of the foundational online ordering platforms that an enormous portion of the industry relies on.
And they've officially announced they are permanently closing their doors on April 30th, 2027. So our mission today is to examine the strategic thinking behind the top 8 alternative platforms available right now in 2026.
And we really need to unpack the hidden structural dangers of digital data migration, because it is literally a digital eviction.
It really is. And to understand the stakes, we have to look at the underlying mechanics of how food businesses operate today. The app is no longer just like a digital menu or side channel.
No, not at all.
It's the central nervous system of the entire operation.
Well, the pandemic fundamentally rewired consumer behavior, and the infrastructure just never went back. Consumers discovered the frictionless nature of asynchronous transactions.
Yeah, they want the reliability of algorithmic order tracking.
Exactly. They want seamless integrated digital wallets and the ability to customize an order without shouting over some noisy counter.
Which makes sense. I mean, many establishments realized their digital footprint was driving significantly higher volume than physical foot traffic ever did.
Right, and a much larger average ticket size, too. The cloud-based ordering system essentially became the primary storefront.
While the physical building just became the fulfillment center, basically. Okay, let's unpack this. Because looking at your notes on GloriaFood's market dominance, I can see why a busy restaurant owner might be in total denial right now.
Oh, for sure. Denial is the default reaction.
If I'm running a high-volume diner and using GloriaFood today, my first instinct is going to be, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. GloriaFood built its empire on a very seductive premise, right?
Yeah, completely free setup, unlimited orders without commission, and 24/7 support.
Right. They branded themselves as the anti-predatory tech company. So if the platform is still functioning today, why shouldn't a business just ride this out? I mean, why invite the chaos of migrating software stacks before the absolute final hour in April 2027?
What's fascinating here is the illusion of the free software model and how it actively functions as a mechanism for stunted growth.
Oh, really? Stunted growth.
Yeah, GloriaFood utilized a classic loss leader strategy. So yes, the basic tier where a customer looks at a menu and places a cash-on-delivery order, that is free.
But modern consumer expectations don't really align with basic tiers anymore, do they?
Not at all. The moment a restaurant wants to integrate a credit card gateway to process online payments or sync their kitchen display system with their delivery drivers, the platform requires proprietary add-ons.
Oh, I see. So the core product is free, but the necessary plumbing to actually run a modern business requires a toll.
Exactly. And those add-ons operate as a slow leak on profit margins over time. But beyond just the pricing structure, GloriaFood imposes a severe architectural growth ceiling.
What do you mean by growth ceiling?
Well, when a successful single-location diner decides to open a second or third location, they suddenly hit a brick wall. The platform lacks dynamic multi-location management routing.
Ah, so it can't handle the logistics of multiple kitchens?
Right. It doesn't natively integrate with modern cloud-based POS systems either. And the data analytics are strictly surface level.
Meaning you can't run, like, predictive inventory modeling or anything?
No, and you certainly can't execute automated segment-based customer loyalty programs. Plus, you are trapped in a very rigid, basic visual template.
Which means your digital identity is completely commoditized. Your highly curated brand basically looks functionally identical to the generic pizza place 3 miles away.
Exactly. You lose what makes you unique. And waiting until the last possible minute to replace that system guarantees you will be executing a chaotic software migration while simultaneously trying to serve customers.
Which is a recipe for disaster. But the research you provided highlights an incredible counter-statistic. It says businesses that proactively rip off the Band-Aid and migrate to advanced software architectures now are seeing profit margins increase by 35 to 40%.
Yeah, it's a massive jump. And that margin boost comes entirely from recapturing lost revenue streams.
Has
By migrating to a platform that supports a robust, native mobile app, a restaurant stops paying those exorbitant third-party marketplace commissions and brings the customer relationship fully in-house.
Right, so you're not paying a huge cut to the delivery apps.
Exactly. It also allows for aggressive upselling and cross-selling algorithms that Gloria Foods simply doesn't possess. So the shutdown, while incredibly disruptive, acts as a forced catalyst.
It forces businesses to abandon legacy software and adopt tools that are actually designed for scale.
Yep, it's a blessing in disguise for those who handle it right.
Growing out of that legacy system is non-negotiable at this point. But obviously, growth requires entirely different tech stacks depending on your business model. I mean, the operational needs of a high-turnover taco truck are completely different from a 5-location fine dining group.
Oh, vastly different. You can't use a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. So your sources highlight 8 leading alternatives for 2026. And rather than just reading off a feature list, we need to group these by their core strategic philosophy, like whether a business is prioritizing budget, aggressive scaling, or complete control over their delivery logistics.
Let's start with the platforms prioritizing speed and budget. Specifically, we're looking at Square POS and CloudWaitress.
Okay, so the entry-level options.
Yeah, these are designed to lower the barrier to entry. Square is ubiquitous for a reason, It unifies in-person hardware and online ordering into a single, cohesive database.
And the setup for Square is pretty frictionless, right? Taking maybe 48 hours to deploy.
Exactly. And the upfront capital expenditure is nearly zero, relying instead on predictable payment processing fees.
But the trade-off for that frictionless setup is a lack of deep architectural control. I mean, you basically get what they give you.
That's the catch. CloudWaitress plays in a similar space, but uses a commission-free model. They sort of gamify the early stages by offering the first 100 orders completely free before shifting to a flat monthly rate of around $39.
Which is great for a new place. It empowers an owner to bypass hiring a developer entirely.
It does. But the ecosystem is closed off, meaning you will likely face friction if you try to integrate it with legacy hardware you already own.
Got it. So moving up the complexity ladder brings us to the scaling giant systems like Toast POS and MenuDrive.
Right. Now, Toast isn't just an ordering app. It is an incredibly aggressive, closed-loop ecosystem. It is engineered for multi-location, full-service hospitality groups that need to completely untether from third-party delivery apps.
Wow. So it manages everything from payroll to complex kitchen routing.
Everything. But stepping into the Toast ecosystem is a massive operational shift. It can require up to 5 weeks of assisted onboarding.
5 weeks? That's intense.
Yeah, and it often forces a restaurant to purchase proprietary hardwired terminals. It starts at around $69 a month after the starter kit, but it is absolute overkill for a tiny corner cafe.
Makes sense. So what about MenuDrive?
MenuDrive tackles scaling from a different angle. Instead of focusing just on kitchen logistics, it turns the restaurant into an e-commerce marketing agency.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, it provides deep traffic analysis, granular loyalty program logic, and over 100 highly customizable storefront templates.
Assuming the restaurant actually has the staff to analyze all that marketing data, of course.
Exactly. And it can be a bit pricey and sometimes has integration issues with older POS setups.
Okay. That leaves the businesses whose entire revenue model depends on frictionless logistics, which brings us to the commission-free delivery-first platforms: Enatega, Ontabee, Orders2Me, and OrderEm.
Yeah, the philosophy here is all about owning the delivery stack rather than just renting it. Ontabee, for example, offers dedicated rider apps to track drivers in real time, running anywhere from $0 to $59 a month per outlet.
And Orders2Me.
Orders2Me is built specifically for quick service speed. It strips out per-order commissions entirely to keep high-volume, low-margin businesses profitable. It's usually around $99 a month. OrderEm is somewhat similar, balancing restaurant needs with e-commerce features from a single dashboard.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If we look at how a business acquires this technology, it is essentially identical to procuring a fleet of delivery vehicles.
Oh, that's a great way to look at it.
Right. Going with Square is like leasing a reliable entry-level sedan. It gets your food from point A to point B efficiently, but you have no ability to modify the engine.
Yeah, you're stuck with the factory setting.
Exactly. Toast, on the other hand, is the custom-built logistical 18-wheeler. It can transport an incredible amount of complex data, but it requires specialized training to operate, and it costs a fortune just to park it in your restaurant.
That is painfully accurate.
And then you have Enatega, which completely bucks the sauce trend. They allow you to buy the core software outright with a single payment.
No monthly fees or per delivery charges.
Right. That is the equivalent of buying your delivery truck with cash instead of signing a perpetual monthly lease. But taking on that code ownership implies a level of technical debt. If the software deprecates in 2 years, you are entirely responsible for the upgrade.
This raises an important question. How does a business evaluate that level of risk?
Yeah, how do they choose?
The roadmap suggested by the industry data is entirely focused on self-auditing before you even look at a software vendor. A restaurant must execute rigorous market research on their specific demographic.
And define strict budget caps for capital expenditures versus operating expenses.
Exactly. They need to run detailed financial projections modeling out at least 3 years of software costs. Because if you choose the wrong architecture, you will spend the next 2 years fighting your own internal systems instead of focusing on the food.
Which is the last thing any chef wants to be doing. So let's assume the business owner executes that audit flawlessly. They run the financial models, they select their new logistical 18-wheeler, and they are ready to turn the key. The sources emphasize that selecting the software is actually the easiest phase. The real threat to the business lies in the data migration.
Oh, without a doubt.
Moving an entire digital existence without suffering a catastrophic loss of institutional memory is an absolute minefield. Migration can take anywhere from 3 days to 5 weeks.
The systemic danger lies in how SaaS platforms structure their databases. A menu migration is never a simple copy and paste operation because proprietary systems don't share a universal language.
You're right, they all speak different dialects.
Exactly. The GloriaFood export files cannot cleanly map what developers call modifier groups or nested logic.
So if a customer orders a highly specific item like a burger, but they select gluten-free bun, no pickles, extra sauce on the side, and replace the fries with a salad, that entire web of item customization breaks when exported.
It shatters completely. The new system simply doesn't know how to read the old system's relational database.
Wow. So the restaurant owner is going to be sitting at a laptop at 2 a.m., manually reconstructing the complex logic of their entire menu, item by item.
Yep. Rebuilding a menu is an exercise in profound tedium. But it is ultimately a solvable problem with enough time.
True, you just drink enough coffee and get through it.
Right. The fatal threat, however, involves the portability of customer data.
The most vulnerable asset.
Exactly. A modern restaurant valuation isn't just in its kitchen equipment, it is fundamentally tied to its customer database. The names, the email addresses, the granular order histories, the behavioral preferences, none of that data automatically flows out of GloriaFood into a competing system.
Wait, I need to push back on that. In an era where apps connect seamlessly to everything, there is no API, no automated pipeline to push that data over.
Nope, man.
So an established business could literally lose their most valuable customers and face an identity wipeout overnight simply because their technology vendor decided to pivot their business model.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this exposes the stark, often misunderstood reality of software as a service. When you rely on a soft platform, you do not own the digital walls of your business.
You're just renting the space.
Exactly. You are a tenant in their ecosystem. If you fail to secure your own manual backups, that data simply evaporates. The guidelines are incredibly explicit regarding this threat.
What do they recommend?
Businesses must proactively initiate contact with GloriaFood support right now to force a manual CSV export of their database.
Yeah.
They have to run an analysis to identify the critical top 20% of their customer base, the regulars who drive the majority of the revenue.
And engineer a specific marketing strategy to aggressively migrate those users to the new platform.
Precisely. You have to actively pull them over.
And it's not just the customer contact information that vanishes, right? It is the entire ecosystem of social proof.
Oh, the reviews, yes.
A restaurant might have spent 6 years cultivating a flawless 5-star rating with hundreds of glowing, detailed reviews on their GloriaFood portal. The moment that platform sunsets, that digital reputation ceases to exist.
It just goes offline forever.
It forces the business into a frantic race to rebuild their authority on Google, Yelp, and their newly adopted platform before the April 2027 deadline hits.
It demands an immediate, aggressive pivot in operations. Every single interaction with a customer over the next year has to be leveraged to secure that data and rebuild that social proof independently of the ordering platform.
Wow. So what does this all mean for you? I mean, even if you have never worked a single shift in a commercial kitchen and have zero interest in restaurant logistics, the Gloria Food is shut down, pulls back the curtain on the hidden plumbing of the digital economy we all navigate every single day.
It really does affect all of us as consumers.
Yeah, the next time your favorite local takeout spot suddenly forces an update to a brand new ordering app, or the owner slips a frantic flyer into your bag offering it a discount in exchange for a fresh Google review, you will know exactly what behind-the-scenes panic likely caused it.
Yeah, you are witnessing a business actively fighting off a digital eviction.
Desperately trying to reconstruct their identity before the servers go dark? By choosing the right tool, whether it's Square, Toast, Enatega, or MenuDrive, and meticulously backing up their data, restaurants can actually increase their margins and truly own their digital presence.
It really reveals a profound vulnerability in our modern commercial infrastructure, though. As local, physical brick-and-mortar businesses become inextricably tethered to massive, centralized cloud platforms just to process a basic transaction, it forces us to reconsider the whole concept of digital sovereignty.
That's a great point.
I mean, who truly owns the identity of a small business in the modern age? Is it the entrepreneur physically creating the product, or the tech conglomerate that controls the database?